Picture an island 60 miles from the nearest coastline. No map, no compass, no way to see land once you left shore. Just open ocean stretching to the horizon. If you leave, there's no guarantee you'll ever see land again. Now imagine making that journey 65 years ago, and not by accident, on purpose. No GPS, no satellites, no paper charts, and yet humans reached every continent, crossed vast oceans, and settled some of the most remote places on Earth thousands of years before anyone ever drew a map. So how did they actually find their way? To answer that, we have to start with the ground beneath your feet. Humans are not the fastest animals on Earth. A cheetah can outrun you. A horse can outrun you. Almost everything can outrun you. But that's not what humans were built for. Humans were built to keep moving. You can walk 20 miles today, sleep, wake up tomorrow, and do it again, then again, for weeks. Our bodies are built for endurance, long-distance movement, persistence, and long before maps existed, humans learned to navigate by reading the world itself. The sun told them direction. Rivers showed them where life existed. Animals revealed hidden paths, and mountains became landmarks no map could replace. Every generation passed this knowledge to the next, not through books, through memory, through stories, through experience. And that's exactly how the greatest journey in human history began. Around 70,000 years ago, groups of humans began leaving Africa. Not all at once, not as one giant migration. Generation after generation, people moved a little farther than their parents had, a few miles, then a few more, then beyond the horizon. Over thousands of years, they spread through the Middle East, across Asia, into Europe, eventually into Siberia, then across a land bridge into Alaska, and from there, all the way through North and South America. That's roughly 15,000 miles, without knowing the destination even existed. And they weren't wandering randomly. Archaeologists have found volcanic stone tools hundreds of miles from their source. Shells carried far inland. Materials traded across mountain ranges. These people knew where they were going. The knowledge simply lived inside human minds instead of on paper. But walking across continents wasn't the hardest part. The real mystery began when humans reached the ocean. Most of history treats water like a barrier. Ancient humans saw something else, a possibility. In 2003, archaeologists found stone tools on the Indonesian island of Flores, dating back roughly 800,000 years. There's a problem. Flores has never been connected to the mainland. Even during the Ice Ages, there was still open water between the island and the nearest land. Someone crossed it. We don't know what kind of craft they used. Wood decays, bamboo rots, the boats are gone, but the tools remain, and they prove somebody made the journey. Researchers still debate exactly how, but one thing is clear. They didn't get there by accident. The first boats were probably incredibly simple. Maybe a fallen log, maybe bundled reeds, nobody knows for sure. What we do know is that eventually humans stopped using floating objects and started building them, and that changed everything. Around 65 years ago, humans crossed from Southeast Asia to Australia, at least 60 miles of open ocean. No land visible on the other side, no map showing where to go, no guarantee that anything was waiting there at all. Think about that for a moment. Someone stood on a shoreline, looked out at empty water, built something that could float, and left anyway. That may be one of the greatest acts of exploration in human history. But Australia wasn't the hardest journey humans ever made. The hardest one happened thousands of years later, in the largest ocean on Earth, and humans weren't finished. The Polynesians pushed exploration even further, crossing the Pacific. The Pacific, no compass, no charts, no modern navigation tools. Instead, they learned to read things most of us never notice. The stars, ocean swells, bird migrations, cloud formations, even the color of the sky near islands still hidden below the horizon. Their understanding became so precise that modern navigators still study it today. They reached Hawaii, New Zealand, Easter Island, nearly every habitable island scattered across the Pacific. Some voyages stretched more than 2,500 miles across open water, nothing but ocean in every direction, and somehow, again and again, they found their destination. Walking conquered land, boats conquered water, but there was still one challenge left: carrying enough supplies to survive. Distance wasn't always the problem, weight was. You can walk a long way. You cannot carry everything you own forever. So humans invented solutions. They dragged supplies on hides, built simple transport frames, partnered with dogs to pull sleds. Later came horses, camels, llamas, reindeer, each one expanding how far a person could travel. and, more importantly, how far ideas could travel. Trade routes grew. Cultures that had never made contact suddenly could. The world started feeling smaller, even though nobody had ever drawn it. And after all that, after continents, after oceans, after thousands of years of exploration, one invention finally made travel easier: the wheel. Not for transportation at first, for pottery. Someone watched a spinning clay disc and eventually asked a simple question: what if this rolled? By around 2000 BC, wheeled transportation began changing everything. Roads followed, travel got easier, trade got faster. But by then, humans had already reached almost everywhere. They had already crossed continents, already crossed oceans, already explored lands nobody knew existed, all without maps. So how did humans reach every corner of Earth without maps? They used something older: observation, memory, stories, knowledge passed from one generation to the next. A map doesn't create exploration, it records it. Humans explored the world long before maps ever existed, and maybe that's the most remarkable part. No GPS, no satellites, no way to know for certain the journey would lead anywhere at all. And they went anyway. That's the strange thing about humans. We never knew what was beyond the next horizon. We just kept moving toward it. And somehow, that was enough to discover an entire world. Humans crossed continents they couldn't see, oceans they couldn't understand, horizons they didn't even know existed, and somehow, they mapped the world before maps existed. If you enjoy uncovering the hidden stories behind human history, subscribe to Mind Canvas, the hidden science of being human.